Welcome back, members, for the third session of the day. After going to lunch, we have a mimicry artist to delve on the subject applicability of GST. I request Secretary of the Branch, Manjunath Indul, to welcome the speaker with the floor of the day. It's my privilege to introduce the speaker, CA Anil Bharadwaj. He is a fellow chartered accountant and senior partner founder of Bharadwaj and Hosmer Chartered Accountants, visiting professor, Mount Carmel College Center for Post Graduation, AAC College for Postgraduate Studies, Sesssion-3 Institute for Global Management Studies, Ramaya Institute of Management Studies. He has been a resource person and keynote speaker and panelist in more than 35 national conferences conducted at various universities and colleges across Karnataka. Has given more than 100 seminars on GST till date and being an advisor for many cooperative societies on GST. Being recognized as one of the few resource persons who can explain the tax provision in Kannada language, this has helped with the spread of knowledge at rural areas where English is still a foreign language. He is a stage artist and have acted in more than 25 dramas which have presented at almost all prestigious stages in Kannada, Karnataka, Mumbai, Pune, etc. With this brief introduction, I present before you CA Anil Bharadwaj, a mimicry artist, to dwell upon the GST. Thank you. Okay.
आचार्यात् पादमादत्ते पादं शिष्यस्वमेधय पादं सब्रह्मचारिभ्यः पादं कालक्रमेण हि ನೆರೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. Today we will brief upon the applicability of GST on cooperative sector, my dear friends. The very meaning of the shloka that I told, rather Subhashita that I told in the beginning is 25% of our knowledge we acquire while we are studying for CA. Acharyat Padamadatte. Padam Shishya Swamedhaya, 25% we have to analyze ourselves and only then pass that. 25% plus 25%. 50%, that's why CA syllabus, they have kept 50% as passing. Learn 25% from teachers. 25% you apply your own mind and pass. That is not sufficient. Next 25% ಸಬ್ರಹ್ಮಚಾರಿಭ್ಯ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಜನಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸಮಾಜ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸಮಾಜ ಅವರುಗಳಿಂದ ಕಲಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅದೇ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಒಬ್ರಿಗಾರು ಅಥವಾ ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿ ಕೀಪ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವೆದರ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಥಿಯರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಈ ಥರ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾದಂ ಕಾಲಕ್ರಮೇಣ ಹಿ ಅನದರ್ 25% ದಟ್ ವಿ ಲರ್ನ್ ಥ್ರೂಔಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಲೈಫ್. That 25% is what we are learning today. Okay, and this 25% keeps on happening till the last breath of our life. So this is what Subhashitakara has told, which is very true. Okay, and in Kannada also we have many such things, but today let us focus on GST and then speak on Subhashita and other Kannada literature sometime later. So my dear friends, it's been 5 years since almost 6 years. In another 3 months it will be 6 years, not even 3 months, 2 months, it will be 6 years of the introduction of GST in the independent India, the great tax reforms we were saying. Now it is already 6 years old. We can ivaga first standard ge school admission ಮಾಡಬಹುದು GST ನ 6 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗಿನ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಲ್ಲ. in ಈ academical year we can get the GST admitted to any good school, so that at least whatever is the drawback that we find now, at least it can be corrected. But still, even after 6 years of rigorous implementation of GST, and very recently harassment also started, though the problem were there from past 6 years, those problems were rectified over a period of time, but recently from past 1.5 years the harassment has also started. But this heat is, I feel this heat is still not touched cooperative societies. As they mentioned in the introduction, across Karnataka I have gone and delivered lectures on GST, especially GST on cooperative societies, met thousands and thousands of cooperative societies. Out of these thousands, not even hundreds will be registered even today. Even after 6 years of introduction of GST is not an old law at all. It is still, for 90% of the cooperative societies, it is still very new. For some people it is even foreign. They don't think it is even Indian tax law. They think it is even it is foreign to them. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, GST ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ದೂರ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ನಮಗೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. 1961 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೇ ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಪ್ಪಿಲ್ಲ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. ಸೊ ನಾವು 2017 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಅತಿಶಯೋಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ತಪ್ಪಾಗಲಾರದು.
1959 ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪುವಾಗ್ತಾರೆ.
ಆದರೂ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, GST ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಮೇನ್ ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ಸ್ ನಾವೇ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮಾತು ಇಲ್ಲವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. We being auditors for cooperative societies should ensure that proper compliance on GST is being taken care by all the cooperative societies. That is our primary responsibility. Unfortunately, when I am doing either tax audit or when I am advising on some cooperative societies, I see that the accounts would have been audited by a chartered accountant. Departmental auditor ಆದರೆ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಆಡಿಟರ್ ಆದಂಥ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಅರಿವಿರಲ್ಲ. ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ಸು ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಯಾರು ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಯಾರು ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ವೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಬಲ್ಲರು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ. I see that the audits, the books of accounts are audited by chartered accountant, but still they would have not been complying on GST. Very unfortunate it is. ಬಹಳ ಹೀನಾಯಕರವಾದಂತಹ ಸಂಗತಿ ಅದು. ನಾವುಗಳು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. We should ensure if they don't comply under GST, at least we will not continue as auditors or we will not sign the balance sheet. Otherwise, the reputation of ours will definitely come down. That is what this one. Now the very question whether the GST is applicable to cooperative societies, you all know 100% it applies to each and every type of cooperative societies that we have discussed since morning. ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗಳಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ತರಹದ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗಳಿಗೂ GST ಕಡ್ಡಾಯವಾಗಿ ಅನ್ವಯ ಆಗೇ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Of course, Section 22 of GST Act prescribes certain limit that we will discuss later, but principles of mutuality, what we used to have in service tax was there, is no more applicable in GST. So when we think on applicability of GST, we have to refer on certain important sections, Section 9, Section 7, Section 2, Clause 31 consideration, Section 2 and 17 business, and Section 2 Clause 6 aggregate turnover. ಇದಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ when we say whether GST is applicable to cooperative societies or not. ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಊಟ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ ಗಿಟ್ಟಿ ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಪಲಾವ್ ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡ್ವಿಚ್ ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಉದರ ದೈವದೊಳೆದುರು ಜಗದೊಳೆದುರು ದೈವವದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲು ಇದರ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಿಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲವದರಿಂದ ಕುದಿಸುವುದು ಇದ ನಿರಾಕರಿಸೆ, ಮದಿಸುವುದು ಇದನ್ನಾದರಿಸೆ, ಹದದೊಳಿರಿಸೆ ಸೊಗ ಬದುಕು ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ DVG ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೊದಲು ಊಟ ಆಗೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರು, ಬೇಡ ಬೇಡ, ಊಟ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನನ್ನ ಸೆಷನ್ ಇಡಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಪೂಜೆ ಮೊದಲು ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪೂಜೆ ಅದೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ GST 100% ನೋಡಿ, ಒಬ್ರು ಕಣ್ಮಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಒಬ್ರು ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ನನಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ. ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್ ನಿದ್ದೆ? ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ನಗ್ನಗ್ತಾ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸದಾ ನಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 9 is a charging section of GST, my dear friends. Primarily section 9 ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, any supply of goods or services for consideration. So consideration plays a very important role, and in course or furtherance of business. ಈ 3 conditions satisfy ಆದರೆ the GST is definitely chargeable. So section 9 is a charging section, and 9394 RCM is also applicable for all the cooperative societies. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, whether the business done by cooperatives is covered under the definition 217 of CGST Act anta. It very clearly says any service provided by society to its members for consideration is definitely chargeable for tax. So no doubt about it, all the cooperative societies, whether credit cooperative societies, marketing cooperative societies, manufacturing society or cottage, see we have different exemptions for cottage industries that we can discuss later, but for all societies primarily GST is very much applicable. Now we have to stress upon certain important aspects. On what all incomes the GST is chargeable is a very important question. What all different types of incomes that societies have? Trading income may be there, sales. If they are trading societies, they will have packs ittu antandre avardu fertilizers irutte, pesticides irutte. If they are marketing societies, they will have different products. If they are credit societies, interest income is a most high percentage income of any cooperative society. Credit cooperative society will be the interest income. The societies, especially credit cooperative societies which are providing the banking facility, they will have other sources also, other income like checkbook issue charges or account maintenance charges, loan processing charges, application charges. Every cooperative society will collect share fee anta ondirtare, share fee, admission fee, e fee, a fee, u fee, aha fee tankanuve the cooperative society sometimes charges. So all these fees and charges we can categorize it as other income or miscellaneous income. Primary income for credit cooperative societies is what? Interest. 2 types of interest. Interest from members, interest from deposits. And then the very controversial income that I am speaking now, which will not appear in P&L account at all, which many chartered accountants have told against my words on face of me, is balance sheet item. The 4th one I have put, building fund, death fund that they collect. Is this chargeable under GST is a question. I will come to that question 2 minutes later. Let us first analyze. For GST purposes, whether you are dealing with member or non-member does not apply. Are you taking consideration? Definitely it is chargeable. Especially if you are dealing with member, and if you don't charge consideration, again the valuation rules will apply. So it is definitely any transaction with member or without member does not arise. I will not speak about it at all. If at all, if there is any income that is purely comes under the purview of GST. The next thing that I want to discuss is interest income. Any person who is indulging providing loan, deposits or advance where the donation is receivable in terms of interest or discount is exempt from GST. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? In exemption notification, any interest received is purely exempt. So there is no question at all, or there is no doubt with any person here that interest is purely an exempt supply. Any income that we receive, that society receives, is purely exempt. Now the question comes on the fourth one. Any funds received, building fund or death fund, which is not credited to P&L account, which is directly taken in balance sheet, donation fund ge hakonbidodu, donation receive ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡೋದು. Is this donation received or funds received, death fund ಅಂತ members death fund ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ benevolent fund ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Is this there are two things. There are two things, sir. Very important. Thank you for bringing this topic. There is one appropriation and then one collection. Appropriation is purely not taxable. No question on that, because it is not an income at all. Appropriation is only it's a procedure. We can call it a segregation of profits. I am not speaking on that appropriation at all. The income that we receive from the members as building fund, 20,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ 1% ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಡೆತ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಬಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ GST, being capital in nature ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. We will assess this as one word ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ, capital in nature ಅಂತ. Do you think this is taxable or not taxable? Any person, any rebel candidates? Illa, it is not taxable.
No, there is no service, so it is not.
There is no service, hence it is not chargeable. Okay, then, sir.
There is no underlying supply.
There is no underlying supply. Okay, then what it is? Is it a voluntary contribution?
Yes.
If it is a voluntary contribution, society or ಬಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಚಂದ ಎತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, if society officials goes to member or non-member and asks for any donation which is not in connection with any service, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸೋ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಡೊನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡಿರಿ ಸರ್, ನಾವು 50 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು ಒಂದು ಡೈಮಂಡ್ ಜುಬ್ಲಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಟ್ಟಣ ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ದಯಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, then the question arises, it is a voluntary consideration, no service is involved. But 90% of the societies that I have seen, they collect this building fund and death fund or any other funds while they are giving the membership. At the time of giving the membership, if the society clearly says that this fund needs to be received or this fund should be paid, it is 100% chargeable, and it should be considered in the purview of turnover. And tax have to be paid, whether you collect tax from the members or not. It has to be, the tax have to be paid to the government, irrespective of whether it is P&L item or balance sheet item. The question of whether revenue item or capital item will not arise in GST. So the very first thing, if any donation is received when coupled with any other service, it is purely taxable, no doubt about it. Because the definition of consideration says any payment made or to be made, whether in money or otherwise, in respect of or in response to or for inducement of supply of goods or services ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. So at the time of admission, if they prescribe that certain sum of money is givable to any donation, any fund which is maintained by the society, that fund is definitely taxable. It comes under taxable supply. Any question on this? No question. Thank you very much.
In your experience, how much cooperative societies is receiving donations in the balance sheet or capital you come to know?
So ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ when we see on the balance sheet, they collect only at the time of admission. The amount is irrelevant now.
So normally what happens? No, building fund very rare case. What is because they whatever they will do it, You will do it in appropriation.
Correct. Appropriation is totally different. I am not speaking on appropriation at all. So if at all, if they receive at the time of either admission of a member or giving a membership,
That amount is lesser than the whatever GST registration was there, na?
then it is not required. Immediately after this slide, I am going to speak about that. Yes.
What about share capital?
What about share capital is the next important thing. So any transaction in money or securities is not goods. Okay, any transaction in money or securities is not a goods. So issue of shares is not subject to GST. Issue of shares, share in a mukha bele yenide, the face value of the share is out of the purview of the GST, but share fee ಆ ಇಂದ ಮಹಾಶ್ ಫೀ ತನಕ ಏನಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So share fee, GST has to be collected. If you don't collect the GST, you have to pay from your own pocket. Okay, so that is one thing. Second thing, e-stamp. You all know, on face value of the e-stamp there is no GST, but stamp fee that they collect, extra 10%, 15% commission what they collect, that comes under the turnover perspective. So turnover as per GST ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ, turnover 26 definition ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ, they include taxable supply, exempt supply, zero rated supply which may not be there for cooperative societies, and supply made between the persons having the same PAN if they are multi-state cooperative societies. Multi-state cooperative societies ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಈ 4ನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರುವಂತದ್ದು. If cooperative societies have one branch in Malleshwaram and one branch in Vasant Nagar, this point 4 will not apply. One branch in Bangalore, another branch in Chennai, and any transaction between Bangalore branch and Chennai branch, this 4th point will apply. What 4th point? Any transaction supply between the persons having the same PAN. So 4 things: one, taxable supply, exempt supply, zero rated supply, and supply between the same persons having the same PAN. Now stamp paper face value and share face value does not become supply at all. Let us be very clear. It is neither exempt supply, nor nil rated supply, nor zero rated supply, because it does not come under the purview of goods itself. When something does not come under the purview of goods itself, the question of supply does not arise at all. So share fee, commission on stamp, e-stamp, interest, sales of products or services, any other charges, commission received. These are important things that we have to consider while taking turnover into consideration. Now the question comes, what is the registration limit? We all know the registration limit. If they are exclusively indulged in supply of goods in Karnataka, I am speaking only on items which are applicable to Karnataka. If they are exclusively indulged in supply of goods, then their registration limit will be 40 lakhs. For example, morning in the income tax, Mr. Hegde sir was speaking on manufacturing cooperative societies which are incorporated post 1/4/2023 up to 2024. If they are incorporated, the tax rate applicable to them is how much? 15%. Very good. So 15% for those people who are exclusively engaged in manufacturing activity or exclusively in trading, no service is involved, then 40 lakhs is the limit. In spite of this, there is one more limit. Exclusive of goods, there is one more limit. 5% or 10 lakhs of total turnover can still be service. Either 10 lakh rupees or 5% of total turnover can still be a service. Even if 5% or 10 lakhs of total turnover is service, it is considered to be exclusively dealing in goods as per GST law. So 40 lakhs is the limit for them. For all other people, 20 lakhs. For majority of the cooperative societies, And all credit cooperative societies, the limit is 20 lakhs. The limit is 20 lakhs, and many people, surprisingly few chartered accountants are also of the misopinion that this 20 lakh should be other income only other than interest, which is wrong. The aggregate turnover clearly defines taxable supply, exempt supplies. So exempt supplies includes interest also. If interest, other than interest, all put together, if turnover crosses 20 lakhs in any financial year, they have to immediately get the registration within 30 days from the date of crossing the threshold limit. So, if any society which is not, sir, nim prashne uttara, any society whose interest income is also less than 20 lakhs, other income including interest is also less than 20 lakhs, question of GST does not arise. Whatever they receive, other fee, half yearly, if yearly, building fund ಇರಲಿ, ಡೆತ್ ಫಂಡ್, ನಾವು ಏನೇನು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಊಫಿ. ಯಾವಾಗ? When the total turnover, so turnover here includes all sales, whatever we discussed in the previous slide, interest income, service charges, that is other charges, miscellaneous income, commission received if any fund received, legal charges and gold appraisal ಗೂ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಿ. Legal charges, gold appraisal charges that we have received, sale of any goods, all put together. If the turnover crosses 20 lakhs, even Modi can't do anything. They have to, even Madam Nirmala Sitharaman can't do anything. They have to get the registration done. And we see, I told in the beginning itself, many societies in Bangalore also, outside Bangalore of course we can say that they may not have the exposure. Even in Bangalore, I see many chartered accountants signing the balance sheet and still they have not got the GST registration done, and it is not mentioned in the audit report. Both in tax audit report as well as the regular audit report or notes to account, somewhere the disclosure at least would have been done. If the society, many people say, sir, we are advising but society is not complying, what we can do? At least disclose that. Because of the disclosure, they will at least get the compliance done. Yes or no? Do you agree with me?
Suggestions column ಇದೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
Suggestions column ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So we have to definitely bring this to the notice of every cooperative societies and ensure that they are compliant.
Each time face value and reduce it, that one also consider as turnover?
No sir, that's what I said. Each time 100 rupees paper, they sell it for 110 rupees or 115 rupees. Here 15 rupees is only the turnover. This 15 rupees may be inclusive of GST or exclusive of GST. Accordingly you have to take. 100 rupees is not the turnover at all. For any purposes this is not turnover, both for income tax as well as GST. Now I will come.
Exactly, who are dealing only in exempted goods like milk producer. If the turnover is more than 20 lakh.
Yes, very good question. Sir, Section 23 of CGST Act speaks on this. People who are not required to get the registration, people who are exclusively dealing in exempted service, exempted goods, they need not do. They need not get the registration irrespective of the threshold limit. They can do up to 5 crores. I give this example, my dear friends. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಲು is a nil rated supply. Milk is nil rated supply. Curd is a taxable supply. You do 5 crore sale of milk, no need to get the registration. But if you do 1 liter of curd, you have to compulsorily take the registration under GST and pay tax only for that 1 liter mosaru. Howda? So tax is only applicable to curds, but registration becomes compulsory the moment you sell curds. ಸರ್ ಕಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಯವರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಪ್ಪೋದು, ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಪ್ಪಲ್ಲ, ಕಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಧರ್ಮ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಒಲೆ ಹತ್ತಿ ಉರಿದೊಡೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಬಹುದಲ್ಲದೆ ಧರೆ ಹತ್ತಿ ಉರಿದೊಡೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಬಹುದೇ, ಏರಿ ನೀರುಂಬೊಡೆ ಬೇಲಿತಾನೆ ಮೇದೊಡೆ ನಾರಿ ತನ್ನ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಕಳುವೊಡೆ, ತಾಯಿಯ ಮೊಲೆ ಹಾಲು ನಂಜಾಗಿ ಕೊಲುವೊಡೆ, ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟೇ ಕಳ್ಳನಾದರೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಲಿ ತಂದೆ ಅಂತ ಬಸವಣ್ಣನ ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಫ್ರೇಸ್ ಸೇರಿಸ್ತೆ. ನಾವುಗಳೇನಾದ್ರು 1 ಲೀಟರ್ ಮೊಸರು ತಾನೆ ಹಾಲಂತಾನೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಕೂಗಲಿ ತಂದೆ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ. So these kind of things we can avoid so that our reputation is maintained at a very highest level. So this answers your question, sir. So any society which is exclusively indulged in supply of exempted service or exempted goods, they need not get the registration at all, irrespective of the threshold limit. That is as simple as this. But if they indulge even for a paise, small 1 paise, then they will be covered under GST and they have to get the registration. But tax is only applicable for taxable goods only. Tax is restricted. Now coming to sir, reverse charge mechanism.
Legal.
Sir, very important question again you raised, sir. I have one slide speaking on reverse charge mechanism. But to answer your question, if any notified services under section 9(4) is applicable to cooperative societies, if such services are taken, notified services like GTA, legal services, predominantly ಎರಡೇ ಬರೋದು. GTA ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಥರದ್ದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಇದೆ, ಗೋಡಂಬಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಒಂದಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಇಫ್ ದೀಸ್ notified goods or services, if they are dealing in, and even if their threshold limit is less than 20 lakhs, section 24 speaks about compulsory registration, sir. So under section 24, this registration has to be compulsorily obtained irrespective of the threshold limit of 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs. So RCM applicable ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ our GST registration compulsory ಆಗಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Next, the question is whether cooperative society is a body corporate or not body corporate. It is very clearly mentioned in the definition of body corporate. Cooperative society is not a body corporate. So whatever applicable to body corporate need not be applicable to cooperative societies. Similarly or consequently, remuneration paid to the director, no RCM is applicable if they are directors of cooperative societies or cooperative banks. Of course, yes sir, no sir, no RCM. Remuneration ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಯಾವೇ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಟ್ಟರುವೆ GST applicable, under RCM ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ I am entering into a most controversial or most neglected area, legal charges received. Legal charges receive ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. There are many kinds of showing it in the books of accounts. ಒಂದು, show it in the income side as processing fee ಜೊತೆಗೆ processing fee is 10,000, legal charges is 5,000, show 15,000 rupees as your income. Then the question is very easy, answer is also very easy. On entire 15,000 GST is applicable. Second treatment, 15,000 we receive from the borrower, 10,000 we show as processing fee and give a credit to P&L account, and 5,000 rupees legal fee, whatever we do, we show it in balance sheet directly to the lawyer's account or some control account ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ P&L ರೂಟೇ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ 5,000 ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸರ್ we receive 5,000, we pay 5,000 to the advocate, hence it does not come under P&L at all. Now please please tell me, in either of these two cases, whether GST is applicable or not applicable. Yes sir.
It is applicable in the both the cases. whether it you show it as a net or loss in the P&L. Actually, we should not make a net in a balance sheet, because this is not the obligation of the service receiver. It is our part of our activity to get it done. So we should not net it out.
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕು. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ. ಸರ್ ಬಹಳ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದಂಥ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸನ ಸುಲಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. It is as clear as sir said, whether it is taken in P&L account or not taken in P&L account, it is chargeable under GST. So legal fee collected or debited to borrower's account is definitely chargeable to cooperative societies. Why? Certain cooperative societies argued, sir, what if we take invoice on the borrower's name? Invoice from the advocate we take directly in the name of borrower. Advocate namu kodade illa. Wrong, still wrong, because as sir rightly said, it is not the obligation of the borrower to get the legal verification done. It is the work of the society to ensure the legal title are proper and correct, and only then give the loan to the borrower. So it is the obligation. It is the obligation of the society, because of which the advocate is giving the service. So service is given to the society, hence the amount whatever is collected is chargeable under GST, whether taken in P&L account or not taken in P&L account. Yes sir.
Legal opinion, we put it on the borrower. You bring legal opinion also. That is part of this document to be presented to the society.
ಬಹಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸರ್. ಸರ್, if you take legal opinion from any Tom, Dick and Harry advocate, it is okay. If you say from these people only you have to take,
Yes.
then you have given a panel, he is giving service to you actually.
No, not.
Or second thing, if the account does not get debited at all, he pays directly to the advocate.
Yes.
If borrower directly pays amount to the advocate, then it is exempted. It will not come under question. Sir?
Once you produce the client pays it to the advocate, the entry in books will not come at all.
That's what. If entry in the books if does not come, then no problem. But it has to be clearly mentioned in your rules and regulation. It has to be clearly mentioned in your bylaws also. We will not do the legal verification. It is the borrower's responsibility. The legal verification is done. 90% it is not the case, sir. If it happens in 10% cases, yes, you are right. But 90% this obligation, society will not leave it to the borrower. If that is the case, then sometimes it may go wrong also, but we will not argue upon that issue. But as you rightly said, if it does not come under the books of society at all, the question of GST does not arise. But if it comes to GST, if society pays either by collecting it from the member or directly debiting the customer's account, it is chargeable under GST. But there is a second leg also to this. One is charging GST on our income, what we collect from the borrower. Second, what we pay. If we collect and pay, on collection 18% GST is there. On payment under RCM is also there is a GST. So two leg GST will be there. So this has to be taken very seriously, and this has to be seen in our audits. The second important, the last thing that I wanted to discuss is gold appraisal charges again. Yes sir.
The loan amount itself it is reduced. For example, loan amount is 10 lakh rupees. I disbursed 9,90,000 rupees.
That's what, sir. Now the question is, whose obligation is this legal charges getting it done? If it is obligated by the society to the borrower that it has to be done from this person, they get the legal this one done. Even if it is debited from the loan account, it is still chargeable to GST. It will be income on one side and expense on the other side. There may or may not be profit associated with it. So GST is not worried about profit or loss. GST is purely on a transaction. So whether same amount we receive or extra we receive, or some amount we receive from the borrower and some amount we pay from our pocket, it doesn't matter. So the amount debited from borrower's account will be charged under forward charge mechanism. The amount paid to the
So ending up
This
with individual customer 18% extra.
yes.
So sir,
Of course.
they will raise a debit note. It's normally to transfer the date.
Correct, sir. Debit note new raise model, it is only an accounting treatment.
He will not be knowing how much is that. Just they will give debit note.
So the next one is gold appraisal charges. Again, there were some questions on gold appraisal charges, whether this is chargeable under GST or not. Is of course chargeable under GST when we receive it, but thankfully there is no RCM in this. When we pay to the appraiser, there is no RCM, but when we are collecting it or when we are reducing our loan and giving the balance to the borrower, then it is chargeable under GST. Any questions on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have fixed 1% as the appraisal charges and I am giving 5 lakhs as loan. So 5,000 rupees he will pay. The entire 5,000 rupees I will be paying to the appraiser. Who has to bear the GST?
But society has to pay.
Then that means I am collecting 5,000 rupees as appraisal fee and I am giving entire 5,000 rupees, but I have to pay that
18%. You have to collect 5,900.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ
ಹಾ?
5,900 ಗೆ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಇಲ್ಲ 5,000 ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ 900 GST ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಪುನಃ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5,000 ಮೇಲೆ 118 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡು ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಆದರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ.
There is a one more similar charges.
Yes, sir.
There is a loan recovery charge. They will appoint a security agency. And per month 15,000 per security they will recover. Along with the GST that person will charge, and they will take the input also, and they will collect only 15,000 from the customer. In turn, they are not charging anything with the tax.
They have to do.
Yeah. But they are taking GST also. Input also.
So anyway, input and other thing are totally two different things. Whether they take input or not, they have to charge GST or not they collect from the members. Yes. The next concept we have discussed about this one, and one of the very important discussions that I do in from past 2-3 years when I visit any cooperative credit society is composition levy. It's a very popular thing according to me for cooperative societies. Many cooperative societies is not following it. We being chartered accountants can advise our clients who are credit cooperative societies. This is purely applicable for credit cooperative societies. Section 10 subsection 2A of CGST Act. Section 10 subsection 2A of CGST Act provides a special composition levy for service providers. Especially for service providers, it is applicable. Section 10 subsection 2A. 1 and 2 speaks about goods. 2A speaks about services, where if the turnover is less than 50 lakhs, then annual turnover, aggregate turnover is less than 50 lakhs, then such credit cooperative societies can get registered themselves under composition scheme. This is a game changer according to me for credit cooperative societies. In Karnataka, at least 75 to 80% of cooperative societies can get the benefit of this. There are certain glitches. First, I will speak on cooperative composition scheme, then come to the glitches. First, understand what is this composition scheme applicable to credit cooperative societies. Be very careful, my dear friends. ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂತಹದ್ದು. ಈ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟೀಸ್ whose other income other than interest, whose other income is less than 50 lakhs can opt for composition scheme, because from the definition of credit cooperative societies, from the definition of aggregate turnover, under section 10(2)(a), you should not see section 10(2)(6). 2/6 you should not see. That is different aggregate turnover. For composition scheme there is a different aggregate turnover definition. For the purpose of composition scheme, the aggregate turnover does not include interest. Many chartered accountants had asked this doubt. If we go for composition scheme, will the society end up paying 6% tax even on interest? No. Answer is clear no. Because the definition of aggregate turnover clearly says interest is excluded. So, any other income, if it is less than 50 lakhs, they can get themselves registered under composition scheme. But there is a glitch, I told you. This glitch I am facing. Ravindranath sir has brought several cases to me. We are facing, all of you overall aware of this and exercising this option may be aware. By virtue of GST website, 1.5 ಕೋಟಿಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟರ್ನೋವರ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಥ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ದಿ ಅಸೆಸೀಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎರಡೂ ಒಟ್ಟುಗೂಡಿಸಿ 1.5 ಕೋಟಿಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟರ್ನೋವರ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಥ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ GST in the website. They are throwing out and asking compulsorily to come under regular scheme, which is a flaw. I have already given a representation to Commissioner of GST. I have met her personally and told this. They have assured us that they will take care of this in the next meeting. We will have to see. So they have to, we have to take this into mind. What things we are following? If at all, if any society's turnover is more than 1.5 crores including interest, the aggregate turnover clearly says interest should not be included for the purpose of aggregate turnover. So we are not declaring it in our CMP 08 to the extent of interest. This is what we are following. I don't say that this may be 100% right. This is what our interpretation is. Our interpretation is, as interest is not includable in aggregate turnover, I am taking only other income other than interest under taxable supply when I am filing the payment challan CMP 08 under composition scheme and paying 3% CGST, 3% SGST, totally 6% GST on other income. How it is beneficial for credit cooperative society, you may ask me. The conditions that are existed in composition scheme is no invoice should be issued, bill of supply should be issued, and GST cannot be collected, has to be borne by society themselves. They have to pay from their own pocket. In regular scheme we are collecting it from the member and paying it. In composition scheme, we are only bearing from our pocket. Is it not a loss, you may say? I have formulated one idea for this. Okay. Suppose charges are 100 rupees, normal charges are 100 rupees, and we are registered under regular scheme. How much GST we have to collect? How much? 118 we have to collect from the member. Okay. How much we have to pay to the GST department thinking no ITC is there? 18 rupees. How much is left to us? 100. Our money 100 is left to us. And how much member is incurring? 118. But we are getting only 100. Government is getting 18. Under composition scheme, my dear friends, tax is only 6%. Instead of 18%, the tax is directly 6% on the turnover. I have suggested many cooperative societies to increase their fees by passing a resolution in the meeting. They have to increase the fees from 100 to 110. One example only I am saying. 100 to 110. Thereby, how much member is incurring? 110 rupees. How much he used to incur when we were under regular scheme? 118 he was incurring. Now how much he is incurring? 110. Is he not getting a benefit? he is getting a benefit. How much we were getting in regular? 100 rupees only. Now how much we are collecting? 110. On that 6% we pay the composition tax. How much? 6.6 rupees. 103.4 rupees is still left with us. How much we were receiving? 100 rupees. How much we are receiving now? 103.4. You also got benefit, I also got benefit. Win-win situation. This is called cooperative movement. Do you agree with me or not? ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಆಂದೋಲನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೇನಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸದಸ್ಯರಿಗೂ ಇದರಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಬೇಕು, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೂ ಇದರಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಕಾನೂನುಬದ್ಧವಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ನಿಮಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ, ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಎಕ್ಕುಟ್ಟೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕಾನೂನುಬದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಚೌಕಟ್ಟಿನ ಅಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನನಗೆ 103 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 107 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮಾಡಿ. ಫ್ರಮ್ 100 rupees let the society increase it to 107 rupees and give all the benefit to the member themselves. So this is very much possible. This year alone I have shifted the regular from composition for not less than 40 societies across Karnataka. 40 ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾನೇ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದಷ್ಟಲ್ಲದೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ ಸುಮಾರು 100-120 ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗಳು ಅವರೇ ಅವರ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬದಲಾ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ many cooperative societies which are not registered yet crossed the aggregate turnover. We have got themselves registered under composition scheme only last year. Composition scheme ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇಡೀ ವರ್ಷ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ 4th quarter ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. May not be 100% compliant, but at least from now on their interest burden will reduce. Interest burden reduce ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕೊನೆ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
They are having rental income. Societies have.
ಸರ್ ರೆಂಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ರೆಂಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ is still a service. For supply of service, if it is less than 50 lakh, still it is 6% is applicable, sir. No doubt about it, sir. No ambiguity. If you have any other question, you tell me, sir. On the same topic, it is definitely applicable at 6%.
Sir.
Yes.
CMP 8, whether we have to disclose the interest amount also?
No. You can disclose the interest amount provided interest and other income put together is less than 1.5 crores. As of now. Because the moment you include interest in CMP 08 and with 4 quarters if it crosses 1.5 crores, you are automatically thrown out, sir.
So it is within 1.5 crores.
You can still show. You can show.
The gross receipt 1.5. That's only you are advising. This composition.
ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋರ್ಗೂ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. I am telling them don't show interest income. We will provide a reconciliation statement. In the financial terms or even in the this one we will provide a reconciliation statement. Total turnover as per financial statement is 2 crores. Interest income is 1.6 crores. Other income is 40 lakhs. And only 40 lakhs have been shown in the CMP 08 because aggregate turnover does not include the interest income. Hence, you may refer the above reconciliation statement to get the reconciliation.
Because in CMP 8 there is no provision to go exempted.
That's the main thing I have spoken to commercial tax department. They have to give 2 things. One, interest income ತೋರಿಸೋದನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ even for composition for goods under 1.5 crores turnover limit, interest is not includable. 1.5 crores turnover ಅಲ್ಲಿ interest is not includable even for goods. For goods it is 1.5 crores, for services it is 50 lakhs. In both the cases, interest is not includable in aggregate turnover. Hence, according to me, we should not show that interest income and show only the taxable turnover income so that we are safe. Next, any other doubt on composition scheme? No input tax credit can be taken. All of you are very well versed about it. If we opt for composition scheme, both input services, input on capital goods is not allowable. All of these things have to be foregone.
What about RCM?
RCM is still applicable, sir. RCM is still applicable. Next, I was discussing about RCM. GTA services, RCM is very much applicable. And advocate legal services we already discussed, which we had to discuss later by virtue of our discussion on legal charges received, we have discussed. So these two are the very important aspects where we have to cover, and of course the security charges. Any security agency we have collected and they are not charging the GST. If they are body corporate, they charge themselves. If they are non-body corporate, we have to pay under reverse charge mechanism. So it is very clear we have to take it into consideration. In invoice, if the GST is there, we need not have to bother. If invoice GST is not there and if they are body corporate, we should call them and tell, why are you not paying? If they don't give any valid reasons, we have to do the RCM, whether it is body corporate or non-body corporate, to keep ourselves safe. Okay? Then board of directors, I told the sitting fee applicable to board of directors under cooperative societies is not under RCM regime. No RCM needs to be paid for remuneration to the directors. Paid otherwise as a salary. Salary is of course out of the purview of supply under schedule 3 itself. So we are very safe on that. Any questions? Then I am coming to the
remuneration paid to directors, it is not taxable because RCM is not applicable because it is not a body corporate.
Correct.
But Cooperative Act, by Act itself, they say it is body corporate. In the definition portion of Cooperative Act itself, it is a body corporate.
Correct. Society may say it as a body corporate, but GST has borrowed the definition of body corporate from Companies Act.
Then one fine morning, your Cooperative Act itself, you have admitted that it is a body corporate. That's why you are a body corporate if GST because they calculated.
My last slide, litigation. You can't deny such question at all. This is how the department is reacting now. ಕಂಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ಕಣ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಯಾಕೆ GST ಕಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಣ್ಮುಚ್ಚದೆ ಯಾಕೆ GST ಕಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. In one of my cases, my own fees, but by virtue of the company's accounting treatment, they have categorized it as legal and professional service. Any chartered accountant's fees, professional fees, legal fees, anything comes under legal and professional services head. Because the head name is legal and professional charges, they have raised the demand on entire amount under RCM. The assessee has failed to pay tax under RCM for legal and professional services, and we have segregated one 3 lakhs amount ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Example, 3 lakhs they have divided it into 12 months arbitrarily. 12 months, 3 lakhs they have arbitrarily divided it into 12 months and charged interest also accordingly. 25,000ಕ್ಕೆ 12 ತಿಂಗಳ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಇನ್ನು 25,000ಕ್ಕೆ 11 ತಿಂಗಳ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ on 3 lakhs left and right RCM charge ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So this litigation may come any time, but our definition clearly says GST. If amendment comes tomorrow, then our opinion also changes. Subject to any amendments in future, GST has borrowed the word body corporate from Companies Act. In that definition of body corporate, cooperative society is not included. Hence, RCM on director remuneration is not applicable as on today. Till today, I say, not as on today. Till today. Tomorrow if amendment comes, we don't know, new government has come. Input credit is a lifeblood of GST, I say. So input tax credit for all the assessees who are indulged in financial activities, financial institutions, they have given 2 options. Either go for presumptive basis of claiming the input tax credit or proportionate method. If we go on proportionate method, we are on full loss, the cooperative societies. So we obviously go for presumptive basis. So 50% of input Input services and even capital goods, input on capital goods is allowed at 50%. Clearly, it is allowed at 50%. And presumptive tax is what we also suggest for our clients. Next important thing is blocked credit. Blocked credit, we all know, societies, this will definitely be there. The moment I say the first item of blocked credit, their eyes goes up. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ತಾನೇ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಇನೋವಾ ಕಾರ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಹೌದಾ? ಒಂದು ಹೊಸದೇನಲ್ಲ ಇದು, ಒಂದು ಮಿಸ್ಲೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಅದೇನೋ ನಾವು ಬರ್ತೋಯ್ತು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್. ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಇಲಾಖೆ, ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ವಾಹನ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ವಾಹನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್. ಈ ಜನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಹಕಾರಿ ವಾಹನ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ವಾಹನ ತರ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಯಾವ ವಾಹನ? ಅದು ಸಹಕಾರಿ ವಾಹನ. ಅದು ಯಾವ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಗಾಡಿ ಆದ್ರೂ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಂದಾಗೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸಹಕಾರ, ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸಹಕಾರ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಫಾಂಟ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಯಾವ ಫಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರು, ಯಾರು ಓಡಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಯಾವ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಓಡಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಎನಿ ಮೋಟಾರ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಸೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 30, input tax credit is not allowable unless it is a yellow board vehicle and used for transportation of passenger for fare. ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಗಾಡಿಯನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಸ್ ನಡೆಸ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಫ್ರೀ ಬಸ್ more than 13 seater, so may still be available for BMTC and KSRTC. But for cooperative societies, sir, ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ cooperative society secretary is like Lal Bahadur Shastri. Only for cooperative work he takes the vehicle, for all other work he does not take. Only for business purpose, no credit is available whatsoever. We have to be very careful in vehicle maintenance charges, vehicle depreciation. I mean, when there is a vehicle depreciation, we have to see whether they have capitalized the GST or not capitalized the GST, or whether they are taking the credit of GST or not ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. However, if it is a goods vehicle, it is allowable. Then the most important thing comes under AGM, annual general body meeting ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಊಟ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಊಟ ಕೇಟರರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ತರಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ಕೇಟರರ್ದು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಫುಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬೆವರೇಜಸ್, ನೋ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ even if it is an AGM and given to members. So any food articles, the GST whatever is paid is blocked, whether it is under AGM or non-AGM, whatever it is not considered as input tax credit, it has to be blocked.
Sir, what about the vehicle maintenance and petrol expenses?
Sir, petrol expenses GST is not at all there, so question of input tax credit does not arise. Vehicle maintenance charges is also a blocked credit because they are set in relation to motor vehicle. They have used a very good word. In relation to motor vehicle they have used. So whatever you do in relation to motor vehicle is not allowable. Sir, seat cover change ಮಾಡಿಸ್ದೆ, no. ಟೈರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ದೆ, ಟೈರ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಓಡಿಸೋದು ಗಾಡಿನ? ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So petrol is totally out of GST purview, and any other expenses related to motor vehicle also not includable. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾನು I want to bring it to your notice. ಕಾರ್ಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ತಗೋತಾರೆ, UPS ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಫ್ರಾಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ನೀವು. This comes under fraud. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ these are all practical experiences that I have got. They have actually taken the battery for car, not allowable. Battery for UPS is allowable. ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಅವನ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಬರ್ಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಫಾರ್ UPS ಅಂತ ಬರೀ ಅಂತ.
ಸೊ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ GST ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ ಕೇಸ್ಗಳು ಹೊಸ ಕೇಸ್ಗಳು ಮಾಡಿಸದೇ ಇರೋ ಹತ್ರ ಏನು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಆಡಿಟ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಮೈ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಎಂಪ್ಯಾನಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ನಿಯರ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡೂ.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್
not only for the next session. Sir, Ravindranath sir told hundreds and 105 conditions they have given. Okay, first of all, with great difficulty we have become chartered accountants. Okay, upon those great difficulties in work also, if so much of regulation if they put, and for lesser fees, they will not pay fees first. Second, if they pay lesser fees, ಮರ್ಯಾದೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಅರ್ಚ್ ಟು ದ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಸರ್, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಅವರು ಕುದುರೆ ಥರ ಸವಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಗ್ಬೇಕು? ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ದೇ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 0.2% to 0.1%? Is it done with a consultation of institute or not done with a consultation of institute? If it is not done with a consultation of institute, why institution is there? All this question arises. ನಮಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೋರಾಡಬಾರ್ದು? ಹೌದಾ? ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಶಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತೆಯರೇ 3-4 ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. ನಾವು ವಿದ್ಯಾವಂತರು ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋರು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಆಡಿಟು ಬೇಕು. ಈ ದಬ್ಬಾಳಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೋ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಇವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಗಳ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ದಬ್ಬಾಳಿಕೆನ ನಾವು ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗಲೇ ನಮಗೆ ಮರ್ಯಾದೆ ಬರೋದು ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಎತ್ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಜನನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ FIR ಹಾಕಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ, ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು ಭಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ನಡುವೆ. ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವಿಚಾರ ನಾನು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಸಮಯ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ನಾನು ಸಮಯ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ immovable properties GST is not applicable. either construction, ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಜುಬ್ಲಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿಸ್ತೆ, ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ ಜುಬ್ಲಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿಸ್ತೆ, ಅಮೃತ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿಸ್ತೆ. ನನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಆನ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಆನ್ immovable properties, the GST credit is available. And one important and last thing I want to discuss in blocked credit is free samples, gifts which we have to consider while doing this year's audit. Sumarashtu cooperative societies, they have a habit of preparing a calendar every year for free distribution. Preparation of diaries every year and for free distribution. Preparation of bags and distributing it to the members. Preparation of pens with their names on it and distributing it to the members or other people. None of these items ITC is available because all of these are freely distributed. Any free distribution, print calendar print ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಿಂಟರ್ ಹತ್ರ GST ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವನು GST ಬಿಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಆ GST ಬಿಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅವ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ and ITC they would have taken. So this ITC is not available because it's a blocked credit. Anything issued free of cost is not allowable. In one of our cases, for Deepavali, the company had distributed watch to the employees only. Employees, they disallowed the ITC. It may be allowable expenditure. It may be definitely genuine business expenditure. It may be ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಅಲೋವಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ ಅಲೋವಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ITC. ನೋ ITC is available, distributed free of cost either to the members, non-members, or employees themselves, or directors, or the president or secretary of the society. ಯಾರು ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರುವೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್? Blocked credit.
Sir, motor vehicle, even two-wheelers also included.
ಮೋಟರ್ ಇರೋ ಯಾವ ವಾಹನಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್. ಸೈಕಲ್ ಒಂದು ತಗೋಬಹುದು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಸೆಡ್ ಮೋಟಾರ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್. ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಮೋಟಾರ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್. ಈ ಸೈಕಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಚಾಲಿತ ಸೈಕಲ್ಗಳು ಬಂದಿವೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಮೋಟ್ರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್? Very important question, sir. Thank you for reminding me. Sir, there are 3-4 types of insurances which usually the cooperative societies take. One, insurance on employees or their health, or insurance on key managerial personnel if they take, not allowable. Health insurance, not allowable. But if they take insurance on building, insurance on cash, safe tagotare, such insurance credit is definitely allowable, sir. It is not blocked.
Insurance on fidelity of employees.
Fidelity of the employees. Fraud gain ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತನಾ? Should be allowed, sir. Because it is neither on health nor on life. It is on the activity. So it is a general insurance, it should be allowed.
So on building also it is.
Yes, on building also it is allowed. Because it's a service, not a, this one insurance is definitely allowed even on the building. Notwithstanding the construction of building. Because they have clearly said construction, modification, repair of building. They have not said insurance on building. ಸೊ ಈ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ, ಲಿಟಿಗೇಷನ್.
So if we take like umbrella insurance policy which covers all the risk, type of risk.
Sir, then it becomes a composite supply. What is predominant ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡಬೇಕು. If it is life, health, ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗು, ಕ್ಯಾಶು, ಫಿಡಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಇದಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ, ನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ. ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಿಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Accounting software
ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Then apportionment, sir had asked before coming to the dais, please stress upon this. A society which is indulged in trading as well as service. So if it is dealing in trading as well as service, for example PACs anta tagolana, primary agricultural credit cooperative societies, they do even sale of fertilizers, they do sale of pesticides, and they provide credit facility for the farmers. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. In such scenario, ITC on trading is fully allowable. So rule 42 and 43 ನಾವು ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. The input tax attributable to the taxable supply is fully allowed. Input tax attributable completely for exempted supply has to be segregated and it is not allowed. Input tax credit commonly available between trading and service like audit fee, you have to take on a proportionate basis and claim it. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ. Claiming ITC on free distribution like calendars, diaries, bags, I have told. Goods destroyed, very important. Goods destroyed. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಹೋದ ವಾರ ಒಂದು ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ, ಟಿಬೇಟಿಯನ್ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅದು. They do deal in sweaters and material like cloths and other things. What if the goods gets destroyed because our good friend comes and puts a fire? So goods destroy agoytu antandre, is the credit available? Same old logic, it was there even in excise duty and other laws also. If goods are destroyed, you have to reverse the credit in so far as the goods destroyed by fire, and either pay the tax or reverse the available credit in the credit ledger. Any doubt on this? No. Thank you. Next, we all know about the returns. I will not stress much upon the returns. So GSTR1 we have to ensure, because in many societies, if they are marketing society and trading oriented societies, they do B2B transactions. So all the B2B transactions, we ensure that any societies file their GSTR1 well within the due date, so that the recipient gets the input tax credit in their 2B and claim it accordingly. If they delay it, then they will not get the credit and they have to wait for 1 month. So 1 month interest to the extent of credit is lost to the customer, it is big loss. So we always urge to ensure that the GSTR 1 is filed on time. Even if GSTR 3B is delayed, it is okay, but GSTR 1 should be filed well within the time. And I also want to bring to the notice of everybody, from 1st of August, the e-invoicing have to be done for B2B transaction, and cooperative society is also not exempt from it. Even cooperative society whose turnover is beyond 5 crores, aggregate turnover is beyond 5 crores, they have to issue B2B. If they are in composition scheme, it does not apply. If they are in regular scheme and if their turnover is more than 5 crores and they are doing the transaction between business to business, business and business, then e-invoicing have to be done. We have to equip them well before 1st of August and ensure whether their software supports the e-invoicing claim. ಹೌದಾ? B2C e-invoicing apply ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸೊ GSTR 3B we know, GSTR 4. ಸೊ CMT-08 ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಾಯಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Every quarter, the advantage of composition scheme for credit cooperative society is from monthly they become quarterly. ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾರು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. 1,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡ್ರಪ್ಪ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಯ್ಯಯ್ಯೋ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಆದರೆ ಒಂದು 5 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಮೇಲೆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೆನಾಲ್ಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು 2 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನ ನೋಡ್ಬರ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಸರ್, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ CA ಹೇಳಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. CA ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇಳೋದಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ CA ಹೇಳಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ನಾವು ಬರೀ ಬಾಯಿ ಮಾತಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ಲೇಮ್ ತರ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಭಾಳ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಸರ್. ಇವರು ತುಂಬ ಕಂಪ್ಲೈನ್ಸು ಅಂತ ನಿಷ್ಠೂರ ಆಗೋದು ಭಾಳ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು, ಇವ್ರು ಕೆಟ್ಟೋರು ಅನ್ನೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಇವರು ತುಂಬ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಪ, ಇವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸೋದು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮರ್ಯಾದೆ. ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಕೆಟ್ಟ CA ಅನ್ನೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೆ ನಾವು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಆಡಿಟ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ನೀನು GST ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಆದರೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನೋಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ ನೀನು ಇಷ್ಟ. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ CMT-08 ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ಯುಯಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 12 ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ 24 ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಇಯರ್, 1 ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. 24ರಿಂದ 1ಕ್ಕೆ 24:1 and 12 payments ಇಂದ 4 ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಫ್ರಮ್ 12 payments per annum it will be reduced to 4 payments. Their compliance burden also reduces, compliance cost also reduces. Our Nirmala Sitharaman's aim also fulfills. Our Nirmala Sitharaman's aim is what? Compliance cost should be reduced. That's why new regime is brought in. Let them file their own. None of them will file. They will come to us only. He will not know. Okay. We are getting now 100 calls. Sir, new regime, old regime. You are not getting. Are you not getting? ಹೌದಾ? ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫೀಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. We will see how we can do it. So 9 and 9C are annual returns for regular tax payers, and for composition 9 and 9C is not applicable. Then probable litigation that we may see for cooperative societies is non-registration is the biggest litigation that may arise in future. Now from past 1 year the audits have started. I am telling you, the heat is not yet started to the cooperative societies. Sir, I will tell you, we should urge to go to Department of Cooperative Societies and say we will not do the audit. Our business will not be lost because litigations are going to come.
Now for that credit societies new format they have mentioned whether GST
registration is taken or not. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟಾದ್ರೂ 6 ವರ್ಷ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಹೆದರ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಫಾರ್ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಯಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ವಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಡೂ ದ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಮೈ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸೇ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್ ಆನ್. ಸೊ we have to see how we are going to save our clients from these probable litigations. And second problem we are facing this problem. They are randomly coming and visiting the societies and seeing whether GST registration certificate has been displayed or not, or GST number has been displayed or not. 25,000 rupees fine they are straight away imposing for non-disclosure of GST numbers and GST certificates in the respective places. And excess non-filing of returns. Many societies get themselves registered but do not file the returns. Automatically after 6 months of non-filing or 2 quarters of non-filing, the registration is being cancelled, and obtaining a new registration is very difficult after that. So we have to educate our clients, stating that they have to do these complaints after registration with more care. And excess claim of ITC, RCM not being paid are some of the vital litigations that we may see in the upcoming times for the cooperative societies. And I open now the professional tax, very important thing. Now in 2023, the schedule have been revised, new notifications on professional tax have come, and the limit from 15,000 has gone to 25,000. All of you are very well aware of it. But if we are well aware of it, it is not sufficient. We have to ensure that the mail is sent to the client. Mail is sent to the client, not call and tell. If we call and tell, they will say, when did you tell? Whom did you tell? We don't know. So please mail them stating from 1st of April, the salary limit from 15,000 has gone up to 25,000 for paying the taxes. 25 plus above is taxable. It is not basic salary, it is the gross salary before deduction. All allowances, perquisites, all included. The gross salary, if it is 25,000 or above, 200 rupees PT is applicable. Another thing the people neglect is annual returns on professional tax for monthly payment. Not 2,500 I am speaking about. Monthly 200 rupees for employees, what we pay, we have to file an annual return on 30th of April. That time limit is not extended, but it is still available to be filed. Please ensure that all the clients have filed their annual returns of monthly payments. With the payment details and date of payment, we have to file an annual return. And then all societies have to necessarily pay annual PT of 2,500 for each branch from where they operate. Each branch will be considered as a separate entity, and for each branch they have to pay the annual PT compulsorily 2,500 rupees. The due date was 30th April. They have extended the due date on 7th. What if they would have extended on 29th? 29th and 30th for Saturday, Sunday. Sunday entire day we have sat and worked, made payments, called clients. Why are you calling on Sunday? Someone said, hello, we have sent mail 15 days back. What were you doing? I said in the same voice. That's why mimicry is very important, sir. ಉರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಸು. ಉರಿಸ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಅದೇ ಟೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೊಂದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಾನ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಾನ. 15 ದಿವಸದಿಂದಲೇ ನಾನು ಮೇಲ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ನೀವು? ಓ ಹೌದಾ ಸರ್, ಈಗಲೇ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ವಾಯ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವಾಗ. ಸೊ ಸಂಡೇ ವಿ ಸ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪೇಡ್. 7th, after 1 week of due date, these people extend the due date to 31st May. What were they doing for 7 days? Some people have paid with late fee. Some people have paid with interest. That will not be refunded. So now if we tell our clients on 1st of May, ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಈ ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಸಪೋಸ್ 7th if it does not extend, ನಮ್ಮ ಮರ್ಯಾದೆ 3 ಕಾಸಿಗೆ ಹರಾಜಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So we have to be very strong, sir. From institute perspective, ನಾವು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ತರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ.
Shops and establishment not applicable.
ಶಾಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕಬಲ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
It is very much applicable.
ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕಬಲ್ ಇದೆ.
Shop and establishment act applies to all those who are located other than Gram Panchayat limits. Pattan Panchayati,
ಪಟ್ಟಣ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ, ನಗರಸಭೆ, ಮಹಾನಗರ ಪಾಲಿಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಶಾಪ್ ಅಂಡ್
ಸಿಟಿಲಿರೋ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್
ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಲೊಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ರೂರಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಅವರು ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಹೌದು, ಅದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಜನವರಿ 31st ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಶಾಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಡೇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಜನವರಿ 31st. ದೇ ಫಾಲೋ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಲೆಂಡರ್ ಇಯರ್.
44 ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 44
ಶಾಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜನವರಿ 31st ಸರ್ ಅದು ಡ್ಯೂ ಡೇಟ್.
ಯಾರು ಫೈಲ್
ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
Sir, the gross salary limit increased to 25,000. If there are no employees 25,000 and above, you have to file a nil return or you have to surrender?
Sir, if you have got a registration, you have to file the nil return still. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ one of our clients, no employees are there. We have not filed the PT returns. They have sent a notice. ನಾನ್ ಫೈಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಂಪ್ನಿಯವ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಲು, ಸರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಅಂತ. ಸರ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದೆ. ಈವನ್ ಇಫ್ ದ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ 25,000 or no employees are there, if you have got a registration, you have to still file the nil returns or else go for, as you rightly said, cancellation of registration. But they will not give cancellation of registration. They say in near future you may increase unless the going concern is in question. So these are some of the important concepts I wanted to bring up on GST. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ you may ask me. ಏನ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್? ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಸಿ ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಆರ್ ನಾನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ವೆದರ್ ದೇ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿ ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಎ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ, then they are not covered under GST. Whatever they receive in whatever nomenclature as they think, but it will not come under this one. But educational institution ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಎಜುಕೇಶನಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅನ್ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಡಿಗ್ರೀಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ from other than recognized universities, it is still come under whether society or not society comes under the purview of GST.
No, that education society has taken a registration. Earlier they were in service tax ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ. Now they have to pay that they are getting rent also and the stationery shop is also there. So then they have to declare entire
They have to declare entire services. To the extent of educational services, they can show it as exempt service. To the extent of rental income and stationery income, they have to show as taxable supply and pay the GST at respective rates.
For the development fund, they need not.
Development fund, if it is received from the students, no.
From students.
No tax.
They are giving a receipt to the parents.
No tax according to.
Sir, nowadays a lot of audit notices are coming from GST audit department. They are taking from 2017, 5 years together. Unnecessary things, unnecessary questions they are making.
ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಕಿರುಕುಳ ಅಂತ ಮೊದಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ನಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ಏನು ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ?
ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. There is no solution. Only giving reply sir. Solution ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we have to only give a proper reply with proper facts and figures. Even if they don't agree, then we have to complain. Unnecessarily I told you an example of 3 lakhs fees for professional and legal services. They raised assessment 10 notice or ನಮಗೆ raise ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. I gave them the extract of the ledger, then invoice copies. Otherwise it was all professional service other than legal service. Then they squashed it. They did not take this up. If they would have taken up, I would have given a complaint on that person to higher authorities. Unnecessarily they are harassing anta.
They are harassing, they are demanding huge amount.
That's what sir. Sir, if they don't listen to us with the proper facts and figures, if they don't listen to us, remedy is appeal sir. One appeal. Second, on the irritation that they do, we can give a complaint to the higher authority on a personal ground. That's all.
So what they are doing, telling me, no, you will raise a good notice range officer.
They can't.
Get from there.
Arbitrarily they can't do.
You are whatever explanation you want to give there and get it deleted.
Arbitrarily they can't do like that, sir. Unless our case is not strong. You are not in one of the cases I will give you example where he is not agreeing to my reply. In 17-18 we have applied for a refund. They have sanctioned the refund or not, we don't know, because RFD 06 is the sanction or rejection form for refund. We don't have RFD 06. In our bank account the refund has not been credited. We have produced the bank statement. Okay, he is not agreeing. RFD 06 is issued. You please get it from the jurisdictional NGSTO office whether GST is paid or not. In the absence of that, I will think you have got a credit. You have got the refund and file and you do whatever you want. You go for appeal or whatever you want he is asking. So the remedy in these cases, when we don't have a level playing field with them, appeal is the idea. Then if we have to go more personal into those assessing officers, we have to write a letter to the department, higher authorities.
So particularly first 2 years, 17, 18, 19, because nobody was clear about that, neither assessing nor department nor professional. They were not clear about many things. So many mistakes happen while filing monthly return.
Correct.
So monthly returns are not tallying, annual returns are not tallying. So many things are there.
Correct.
So because of that, they are saying that if this difference, that difference, and huge demand there is.
Correct, sir. As of now, we don't have any solid fight back against this. Only institute collectively can give representation to the Ministry of Finance and ensure that from Ministry of Finance they have to get a this was that 17-18 they can be liberal. That is the only solution that I feel, but I am not in a position to say anything on that.
Even for claiming IDC also, they are saying it's not coming your
2A. ಹೌದು ಅವಾಗ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸೇ ಸರಿಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನಾವು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಗೆ. ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು 2A ದೇ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬ್ರಾಟ್ GSTR 2. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬ್ರಾಟ್ ಟಿಲ್ ಡೇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ 2A to 2B. They only thought that 2A was not very appropriate, 2A was full and 2B was good idea. I also agree 2B is a good idea. But till 2B what all happened, can you exempt it? This is our argument, logical argument, but they have to listen to us. Who will listen to us? Collectively if we go as an institute, if we fight back as an institute, then we may get a reply. Alone, if me or if 100 people sitting here, if we scream also, it will not help anything. Yes.
They are asking, they are disallowing ITC, then they are raising the demand for various differences, then they are calculating interest from 2017 to today. Whose demand is coming? How can assessor pay?
Correct, sir. I understand your feeling. But what to do?
You being a speaker, authority on the subject,
sir, for this, I am saying we have to only give a reply with respect to figures and facts. We cannot fight back stating that we can only, all these logical things will apply in appeal when there is a judicial system. And adjudicating authority is not a judicial system, that is a problem.
So in appeal, first appeal, how much we have to deposit and how much percentage of the demand we have to deposit?
15% we have to deposit.
15%.
Yes, sir.
Multi-state cooperative registration ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Each state
GST registration, sir. Cooperative. Sir, Ravindranath sir is a correct person to give an idea. GST registration ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹೌದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡನ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್. So he will be an authority to give you an answer. So thank you very much. I have just extended 10 minutes of my time with question and answers. I am very thankful for all the learned people. ಪುಸ್ತಕದಿ ದೊರೆತರಿವು ಮಸ್ತಕದಿ ತಳೆದ ಮಣಿ, ಚಿತ್ತದೊಳು ಬೆಳೆದರಿವು ತರುತಳೆದ ಪುಷ್ಪ, ವಸ್ತು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಅಂತರೀಕ್ಷಣೆಯಿಂದ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಿತನದಿಂದಲ್ಲ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ. ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಉತ್ತರ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಪುಸ್ತಕದಿ ದೊರೆತರಿವು ಮಸ್ತಕದಿ ತಳೆದ ಮಣಿ. We may know hundreds and hundred provisions, cases in our mind, it will not serve all the purposes. ಚಿತ್ತದೊಳು ಬೆಳೆದರಿವು ತರುತಳೆದ ಪುಷ್ಪ. That's why the experience plays a very important role. Though I might have studied GST well, but your experience matters a lot than my studies, whatever I have done on the book, in the book. So, ಮಸ್ತಕದಿ ತಳೆದ ಮಣಿ, ಚಿತ್ತದೊಳು ಬೆಳೆದರಿವು ತರುತಳೆದ ಪುಷ್ಪ. ವಸ್ತು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಅಂತರೀಕ್ಷಣೆಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಆಳಕ್ಕಿಳಿದಾಗಲೇ ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗದೆ ಹೊರತುವೆ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಿತನದಿಂದಲ್ಲ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. ನಾವು 100 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಸಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಷ್ಟೇ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. ನಾವುಗಳೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಈ 2 ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ದೈನಂದಿನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲೂ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಡ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ವೇ. So I am very happy to speak to you all, and I am very thankful for the Bangalore branch of SIRC for providing me wonderful opportunity for the second time to speak on the same subject in last 2 years, and I look forward for many such opportunities to share my little knowledge with all of you and gain the experience from all of you. Thank you very much.
It's not that easy to keep so active, so actively involving all the audience. That to post-lunch session, it is very difficult, you all know. That can be possible only by an artist. Involvement of audience in the session is in his blood. A stage artist, a gamaka artist, a mimicry artist was giving caveats to all the practicing chartered accountants throughout his sessions. That is what it was, and it was a fantastic 1.5 hour session by our beloved CA Anil Bharadwaj. Sir, a round of applause for on behalf of members present here and all the MC members, as a token of appreciation and gratitude, we would like to hand over a memento to the speaker. Can I request CA Kumar S. Jigjini sir to come out to dais and then do the honors. Thank you, Kumar sir. Thank you once again, CA Anil Bharadwaj sir, for that wonderful session. Now we'll break for tea coffee.